Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Lucid. We are hopping back into our game with Mictlan in our YouTuber Let's Play. And it's turn 12. I'm actually on turn 13, so I think this episode I'll do turn 12, see how much time I have left, and we'll either do turn 13 in this episode or the next. So, anyway, jumping in. We have a message from Pangea. I have not, sorry to say. I had asked Pangea if he had seen anyone's blesses, and he replied that he indeed had not. So, here we go. Actually, let's watch these battles. You can see I win, but so sorry to ruin the surprise. So this is my army, and I've got a bunch of these Jaguar tribes that I'm trying to clear out, and I might have gone a little bit overboard here in preparations. I had brought a bunch of militia along with the Rain Warriors, and that's because the Rain Warriors do not have much protection, and so even though the Jaguar tribe kind of suck, they do have slings, and there's kind of a lot of them, and the slings, which normally suck, would actually do a ton of damage to these Rain Warriors who don't have any helmets or any kind of like head protection. And also, really what I'm worried about is those slings, so because of that I also brought in a bunch of blood slaves with my Mictlan priest, so combined they should be able to summon quite a good number of imps. And the hope is that those imps end up shutting down a lot of the ranged attacks before they end up hitting me. And these militia are going to absorb hopefully some of them as well, and they are much better equipped to deal with it. Unfortunately, my Rain Warriors are going to be much faster, especially once they get blessed, so we'll just see. I don't totally know how this is going to go, but that was the idea behind the script. Okay, we can say the sling's going off, and they're hitting my militia so far, which is good. Okay, some of the imps run in, but the imps are not blocking a lot of the slingshots, unfortunately. Okay, more imps come in. And more, and okay. So I don't know how many Rain Warriors the imps ended up saving, but it was probably a couple of them. And you can see with that we have won the battle. We have another battle here. I think we're attacking, what, knights? So we've got a good bunch of knights and some heavy infantry. And then on our side we have kind of a little chaff screen up front with my turkey in the back to do Divine Blessing. And some Jaguar Warriors and Eagle Warriors. And my guys are scripted to attack closest. So hopefully these guys will... whoops, dropped my keyboard. Hopefully these guys will function as a heavy cav screen, which they do. So you can see that kind of worked perfectly. This heavy cav screen got totally annihilated. And just as they get annihilated, our Jaguar Warriors are going to come in and get a bunch of hits off. So you can't ask for too much more there. And you can see my guys are very, very killy. And again, to show you, once they get... Do I have any of the guys who turned... So nobody even got turned into a Jaguar. Kind of sad. Because they're not that impressive in their base form. Which is a little sad. But that's fine. Okay, so anyway, this was successful. We're going to go ahead and take this group that just kind of killed these guys, and we're going to bring them in to attack the Throne Province. And then everyone else is going to come here. Well, okay, well, let's go back. Okay. There has been a development. We have a huge bunch of giants on our border. And Utguard is one of the nations which I was considering going to war with. And we haven't been in very tight diplomatic communication. And whenever somebody's not talking to you, it usually means they're going to go to war. And when you have, like, this is a huge army for, what is it? Or at least for turn 12, this is a huge army. So I'm assuming this guy's going to attack. And the other thing is he's got another group of guys positioned here where they could attack me. So it's kind of like, okay, he's expanded as far south as he can, and now there's nowhere left to go except into me. This is a huge army. I mean, there's a chance he wants to march this all the way down to go to this throne. But here's his cap. If he wanted to go to his throne and he didn't want to scare the shit out of me, he probably would have gone this way, like through here. Or he would have sent me a message like, hey, I'm moving an enormous army onto your border. So, yeah, we do not want to get attacked. He's close to our cap. And if this is a predictable move, like his army's in this tile and this is the only one of my provinces he can attack, when you have predictable moves, you usually want to take advantage of it by doing like a PD dump and then moving people into support. So here's the plan. I'm moving this guy in to summon some imps. The imps, I'm doing Blessing first and then this, so that the imps are hopefully still alive when the Eagle Warriors jump in. They probably will hit like one turn before, and then hopefully half of them will be alive while the Eagle Warriors are there. This is a fair amount of PD, so what I'm expecting will have happen is these guys rush forward, they break into the PD, are going to chop them up pretty quickly, but hopefully my Eagle Warriors can go and kill their commanders. And this is enough so that even if they have dudes on guard commander, they will still get pretty well crushed. I had wanted to site search here instead of move, but anyway, desperate times, desperate measures, you know. We have this palisade up and running, so we're recruiting Jaguar Warriors here and here. And so this is about 8 a turn from these two. I really am kind of wishing I had figured out some way to not go Turmoil 3. I think like even Turmoil 2 would be kind of a big difference. It's really hurting my recruitment points. I cannot get all the Jags out I need to. So down here too, we are getting a pretty heavy PD dump. And the reason for this is so we have good PD here. It's heavy cav and then light cav. And then there's a bunch of Gam herding, or some Gam herdings and Jotun Jarls. I don't know, I think the heavy cav charge and then these guys with their spears will potentially be able to kill these. I don't know. But that's kind of the thought, is that just PD alone will probably be able to kill this. I'm also getting the Brave Breakers, which are, I believe they are crossbowmen. And we're going to get them here because this is where the big fight's going to be. So if he comes in, there's going to be all this PD. There's going to be a big squad of crossbowmen, which will do pretty well against these guys since they're all shielded and, you know, reasonably tough. That's a good time when you want to use crossbows. And then I'll have Eagle Warriors attacking the back. Now, I thought about, too, having this guy come in and attack this fort because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get attacked. But I decided, hey, better to go ahead and get these guys in the water and claim the water system. I also can build forts in the water, which I am definitely going to want to do. I need to figure out which. Probably this province would be a great province to build a fort in. I wonder if there's anyone with forests. This one is too. So this one might be another one. This has 3 borders. Yeah. So I'll have to figure it out because I am going to want to build an underwater fort. But anyway, we're going underwater. The other thing, too, is now that it looks like a war with Utguard is imminent, I did want to switch back to Jag or Eagle Warrior production rather than these guys who are not as good, bang for your buck. But I think I do want one last underwater expansion party. So I already have a fair amount of them, so I'm already kind of committed. So I'm going to finish it up with that. I'm going to get another Rain Priest and then some more Rain Warriors. And the idea is they will march their slow asses up this way and into the water system. I also could have them march down here and claim this, but I had told Man I would let him have it. But I don't know. I'll do it eventually. If Man doesn't claim it like this year, I'll probably get it in year 3. And then if I ever go to war with Man, I'm going to take it. I don't know. Man and I may be long-term allies. I would... Yeah, I think taking Pangea and Utguard would be good. So, anyway. I think that's it for most of my troop movement. We're building a city palisades here. This says 4 months left. This one's almost done. We're at 2 months left. And then there's an event here. I haven't really talked about it. There's a fertility cult. And it's kind of weird. I don't fully know what this event... I think I remember like a week or a couple days ago when I played this turn for the first time, or the first turn that this thing came up, which was probably a week ago. I went through and looked through the event sequence for fertility cults, And I didn't see anything that's particularly bad with having this event running. And I could be wrong, but it seems it's mostly going to boost my growth scales, which is something I'm happy about, while it will occasionally subtract from my Dominion, which is also something I'm happy about. So I think the best thing for me is to not break this event series and just let it run. And the way to do that is to not have a lot of troops here. So I think you need 15 troops to get out of this event. If you keep them stationed here, eventually the event series will go away, which I don't want. So if it increases growth and gets rid of my scales, I wish I had that in all my provinces. I could be wrong anyway. But the plan is to let this event chain kind of run its course. And I think that's mostly it for the movement this turn. Coming down here, we've got my blood economy kind of going pretty well now. I've got this scout who I've got loaded up with dudes. He's going to run back to a fort. I've now got about 60 dudes patrolling, which should be more than enough to take care of this unrest I have, especially in conjunction with the high defense. So I expect this unrest to come down pretty damn quickly now. We're capturing more slaves. Yeah, so in general, we're getting all the infrastructure up for our blood economy to get cranking very early. We're almost at blood 4. We're about 2 turns away, maybe 3. And in conjunction with starting to get some sanguine dowsing rods out, we will be very well positioned. The other thing is this guy has my first sanguine dowsing rod. It's coming down here. And then this slave shipment will be what is required to get the next 4 or 5 out. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good. We'll talk about diplomacy now, and then I think we'll have time for the next turn in this episode. So I sent a message to Utguard. The great prophecy has foretold of an attack from the giants of Utguard. Should this prophecy come to pass, untold horrors may befall the peoples of Utguard and the god they serve. The sun god is not to be slighted, and insults are paid back in stone and blood. Should the prophecy not come to pass, we will bear you no ill will, and hope the day does not come when the giant draws his sword against the jaguar. Council of the Full Measure, God of the Sun. Okay. So anyway, that is that. We will see what Utguard does. What I'm thinking will have happen is, this would be the best case, is that Utguard attacks me, he gets his ass kicked, and he gets this message that I just sent him as a turn opening for the ass kicking. But it could also go that he just kind of crushes me. I don't really like doing PD dumps, especially with Blessed Nations, because you don't really get any of the benefits of your Bless when you pour things into PD. But the problem, one of the problems here is if I let him in, like if he gets first turn initiative and attacks me, okay, here he's kind of limited. He can only attack one more province, so I have one more predictable move. Here he could go here or here, right? And then once he's here, he could go here or here or here. Once he breaks past these 2 provinces, I really don't, I'm not able to predict his movements very well. And what that will end up meaning is he can end up, if he's, and I think this is, I've seen you before, and I know he's a pretty good player. So we can get into the cat and mouse game where I'm trying to guess where he's going, and it gets to be a big bloody mess. And I would really, really rather avoid that. So if you're on the defense, in Dominions, most of the advantages go to the player on the offense. The only time that's an exception is when there's only predictable moves from the person on the attack. And basically the advantage you have is he does not know what troops you're going to move into the predictable move province, in this case. And then you can also use your PD. So we definitely want to take advantage of that, because right now we are in the weakest state we will be in for a good long while. We may trail off in the very late game, but for right now we are weak because we only have 2 forts up who are just starting to produce Jaguar Warriors. Once we get this one and this one up, we'll be getting about 12 Jaguar Warriors a turn, and then we will be supplementing that with Ocelots, Anyway, so that is that. And I think we've covered almost everything for this turn. Yeah. Am I building any infrastructure? Let's just check real quick. I don't think so. I think I took all the money. Like, I was going to build a lab here so I could get more Mictlan priests, but I took all this money this turn and just sank it into the PD. Okay, so coming down to my current turn, which is turn 13. Let's get into diplomacy. A message has arrived from man. So this is him responding to my nap offer. As you saw, we did not cross the river, lest we cause strife between us. Now the river has thawed and the opportunity lost, and such forces have turned westward. Your position on the matter of our borders causes us immense displeasure, while we reluctantly will listen to your proposals, and even sign the agreement with you. We are not happy and ask for compensation for the 2 lost provinces. We require explicit information on the next 2 months' agreement. The party breaking the treaty tears the document and sends it via messenger to the other. The next month it is received by the other player. The month following any hostilities may commence. Or does this start 2 months? Or does the 2 months start when the broken scrolls are received? So he's asking, and this is actually, it's really good he's asking this because even people who play a lot, there's not a super clear definition on what nap 2 and nap 3 is. Now, some of you in the comments are going to say, yes, it's this, yes, it's this. But in general, people disagree on the exact turn timing all the time in multiplayer games. So to avoid people getting, their underwear all scrunched up, it's good to say when you're actually ending the agreement, what turn you understand the hostilities can begin. So I'll go through and show you my reply to man. So I say, we give thanks to the sun god that you have chosen to sign the pact binding more humans. I think I mistyped this. More humans of the war together. As for the terms, any conflict should begin or could begin 2 terms after the receipt of the message ending our agreement. The receipt, so that's the key thing. We cannot give you direct payment or compensation since we are starved for gold. Perhaps we could trade gems if there are some you need more than others. So, yeah, he's wanting some kind of compensation. He's not going to get that. And that's fine. But my basic understanding is a nap ends, the turn timer starts ticking the turn you receive it, not the turn it's sent. So if I send it to you, if man were to send me a message this turn saying I end our nap and it's a nap 2, then I couldn't get attacked this turn. Right, next turn, because if you think about it, if we had a nap 1, right, and he sent it to me this turn and attacked me this turn, that wouldn't do anything, right? So if it were a nap 1, he could attack me next turn. If it were a nap 2, he could attack me turn after that. So he sends it to me this turn, he's not attacking me next turn, he's attacking me the turn after. But anyway, we can specify that when we end our agreement. We have a message from Ulm. Greetings, fellow, and I had also asked Ulm for a nap. Greetings, fellow blood brothers. We agree to your proposal to attack Pangaea in 3 turns' time, 2 turns from the receipt of this message, and are pleased to enter into a non-aggression pact with you based on your suggestions. Together we will form an axis the entire world will revolve around. I like that. That's actually kind of interesting, too, with, Ulm is a Germanic kind of nation, and so, you've got the Axis powers from World War II, so kind of interesting. Another message from Ulm. Please be advised that our acceptance of a non-aggression pact is conditional on recognizing our claim to Witchgrove, which unfortunately is a throne province up here, which he looks positioned to take. So let's talk about what I send back to him. I say, yes, I think the Jaguar warriors will be ready to attack. Utguard is moving lots of troops along our border, so if he turns aggressive, I'll need to call some Jaguars from that front. My diplomacy is really bad. I probably need to go back and fix these. I think once I'm done recording, I'm gonna go back and retype some of these. I'll need to call some of the Jaguars from the Pangaean front to the Utguard front is kind of what I'm trying to say. And then as for the throne you speak of, if you take it first, it's yours. If we do, it's ours. But we have no plans to take it at the moment. And it looks like you have a good bit of heavy cav ready to do so. So I will give it to him for now. Yeah. And I think that's fine. I'm kind of all up in his. I've expanded way farther into his land, so I'm not really super worried if he gets one province. One of the problems, though, is I don't really have a lot of access to thrones at the moment, and I'm going to have to backstab a lot of people to get the thrones I'm going to need. So, anyway. A message from Satis. Greetings, Mictlan. We believe we have secured allies against Pangaea from all sides. If all goes as planned, they will be crushed within the year. I should warn you, however, if you wait too long to attack, there may not be any territories left for you to conquer. In fact, now might be the time to strike since their army stands in 79, which could easily be cut off from their capital if hit swiftly. Let's take a look at 79. I think 79, here's their capital. Wait, no, where's their capital? Okay, here's their capital, and their army is... Where the hell's 79? For those of you who don't know, if you hit G, it'll bring up a go-to province. Huh. It's really weird. Maybe there was a battle here, and maybe Satis won? I don't know. Yeah, I think we're going to move in pretty quick. If I just get these two, or maybe these three, that would be really good. Anyway. So that's kind of the diplomacy. We do have some battles this turn, and I've kind of been clicking around without showing you the battle, so you may have, if you were observant, seen that we won. If not, it shouldn't be too surprising. Okay, so we cast Divine Blessing. Okay, one guy got poisoned. He may die. Okay, he survives. That's nice. So in that battle, did we lose one? Okay, we lost one of our Rain Warriors, which is unfortunate. We have another battle down here. This is attacking a throne province. I didn't bother to scout it to see if there's any mages, which, for the record, is pretty damn dangerous, because especially if there's Skelly Spam mages, those are kind of the worst, with maybe having the Fire Elemental spammers as a close second for being the scariest dudes to go up against. So, anyway, maybe not super smart, but we'll see. Okay, our Eagle Warrior jumps up in the air. He's probably gonna die. Okay, as soon as these guys turn into Jaguars, they just become absolute monsters. 17 attack, 15 damage, quickness. I mean, watch when that guy swings. Like, boom, boom, boom. All these little guys die. Okay, yeah, that Eagle Warrior died, unfortunately. And yeah, their combat stats are pretty damn good. Yeah, 14 defense. What is this guy? 20 attack. Oh my god. It's so scary. Yeah, 13 defense. Defense isn't great here, but that'll become less important once I get mass protection up, which unfortunately I think is going to come kind of slowly. Anyway, so we clear that out. We took a couple losses. I lost a slave and an Eagle Warrior. Not so bad for killing 74 dudes. Unexpected event, heavy snowfalls, bad omens, some misfortune went up, and then we got the Brave Breakers, which is nice. Also, notably, we did not get attacked by Utguard as we were expecting. And then, importantly, we have suddenly Quetzalcoatl, however you say that. The Priest King has appeared at the gates of your walled city and wants to fight for your cause. Quetzalcoatl is a legendary Kutail who has aided Mictlan in times of need. He can take the form of a man who was once called the Lawgiver. According to the legend, he is the one who founded the Empire decades ago. During his reign, blood sacrifices were banned, but with the coming of the new god, times have changed, and Quetzalcoatl has become a servant of the awakening god and has taken up the forbidden practice of blood magic. So one of the things that's kind of cool, and I don't know if you all know this, but a lot of times if you read the lore for these heroes, they're connected. And there's really weird connections. Like sometimes, and a lot of it actually goes into myth. So you can see things where certain heroes are related to the same heroes of a previous era. I remember like one of the Sarumantian heroes. Oh, what is it? Maybe one of the Satis heroes has like some connection with one of the Sarumantian heroes. Anyway, it's kind of cool how it's all connected. This guy's related to one of the MA heroes, but it's the LA version of it. And he is just phenomenal. I mean, there's a few things that are very special about this guy. One is he's Astral 3, which I don't really have Astral 3 access. So having this guy just being my highest Astral access is important. Next, he's my highest Nature access. The highest I can get is this guy who's Nature 2. So that is important. So he's my highest Nature, my highest Astral, and he is Air 2, which is Air is a path I do not have access to. And because he's Astral, he can jump into Communions and drop like Fog Warriors and stuff, since I'm running Alteration 7, which is when you get, that's where I will get Mass Protection. But another thing you can get at Alt 7 is Fog Warriors. So anyway, it's one of the things, if you're playing a nation like Man, Alt 7 is so huge for you, because Man has, if you're a Nature Air nation, you get Fog Warriors at 7, and then you also get Mass Protection at 7, and that can just totally change the game. Totally change the game. So, I don't want him to die, and I'm actually even cautious about having him run around. But, yeah, he's going to come in here. I'm giving him kind of a little defensive script of Twist Fate and Air Shield. I probably could also give him, like, Luck. He doesn't have it yet. Anyway, we should give him Divine Blessing, too. Well, anyway, that's what he's going to have. If he gets attacked and dies, I'm going to be really, really sad. But he's going to come in and just site search this. We're going to be claiming the throne here. We're going to be building a palisade. I'm also going to be recruiting a scout who's going to take up this duty after we're gone. We can see there's death scales here too. So I definitely need to site search death, which I don't have access to at the moment. I forget if I have some way to get death. I feel like I stumbled onto something. One of the cool things you can do is that if you hit F1, it will bring up this. With Tab, it will show you which commanders are in it, or you can hide it and just have the provinces. If you hit D, especially after you don't usually want to have D and Tab hit at the same time. So if you untab, right, to hide your commanders and you hit D, it'll show you a bunch of statistics like who you can recruit in each of your provinces. So it's a good way to scan to see if you have some interesting commanders you can get. Jaguar Tribe Priest. Yeah, I don't see anything here that is particularly likely to give death. So anyway, that's a little unfortunate. Anyway, so we're going to be claiming this throne, and this is the throne of Pestilence. And this is going to give me death 1, which you normally don't want. It's going to give me 3 death a turn, which is going to be nice because I don't have any death. And this will mean within not too long I could potentially empower into death if I wanted to. Or if I find one death mage somewhere, I can start spamming out Dark Knowledge or something like that. So we'll see. I'm not sure how much use I can get out of it, but we'll see. The other thing is, because I already have death as part of my scales, taking death 1 is not going to be a big deal. And the final thing is this has a construction bonus, and or the Steel Evans, which is one of the best, okay, it's the best site without site searching that you can find. I don't think I'm going to have a super heavy construction build, but, you know, if I move in here, I get a palisade set up, I can, like, do little things, like all of my Sanguine Dowsing Rod production here. It'll save me a few blood slaves. And then later, when I start making some of, I'll probably make a couple nature boosters and stuff. It'll give me a little bit of economy. I'm not going to do a ton of forging, though. I did go construction early, though. It was the first thing I researched, and that was for Sanguine Dowsing Rods. So we'll see. I do need to get them up quickly. So I'm not going to like wait for all the infrastructure to get up to save a few blood slaves on getting Sanguine Dowsing Rods out. We're going to go ahead and make them. But anyway, it's a super nice site to have. Especially if you can get this in conjunction with hammers, which right now I don't really have any earth access, nor do I think I will be getting it. But yeah. I think... Is that it? I think that's it. So yeah, we're claiming this. We're going to be site searching. He did not attack me. We can see Utguard is moving his army southward, so he's almost definitely going to go for this throne, which is a bit annoying. Because one of the problems, I have thrones near me, but I only have claimed 1. And I kind of haven't, especially if I give this to Ulm, which we'll see. Yeah. And he's 20 Black Templar can almost definitely take what's inside here. Yeah. We'll see. I do need to get this from Ulm. I'm not sure how I'm going to get it. But the problem now is, like, I'm going to piss off all my neighbors eventually once I start going for thrones. Like, Ulm is going to get this. He's going to have this. Actually, maybe not. Maybe I can just... I think Man might be my only long-term ally. And I know he's trying to talk shit about me, and so the more people I have against me, the more likely it is Man's going to turn on me too. So we'll see. Okay, the other thing is I have dropped off my blood slaves, so you can see we have a fair amount in the bank. We're forging a sanguine dowsing rod here. Here, I don't have enough money to make a lab. The reason is because I started palisade construction here rather than finish a lab. And I think that is the right call, especially if I go into a war with Pangea. I want to go ahead and get this throne locked down. So we're going to go ahead and start building this, and then hopefully next turn I can finally build a lab here. While I do want labs, I kind of care about getting Jaguar Warriors out even more. So anyway, it's kind of a weird call. We're building a temple here also, so that was the other thing I kind of sinking my money into. This palisade is coming up next turn. So I'm a bit stretched thin on gold. But you can see I have a pretty healthy income, and this number is only going to go up as I continue to kind of take all of this shit. I do definitely need to think about getting a fort underwater, because one thing that can happen is if somebody takes this province from me, it's going to shut down all the income I get from the ocean. So, yeah, we got to worry about that. We're going to go attack this because it's easier. These guys, I think, have poison daggers, which my guys are not poison immune or anything, so we'll kind of get hurt by that. I think I'm going to take more attrition than I want to. So one of the things we're doing is I want to just kind of beef up my front line some. So this group, which is running through here, is going to run this way and then run this way. And then once they come in here, I'm going to have a bunch of these little Triton dudes for them to kind of carry with them. Just to add some bulk to the line. Yeah. Not super excited about these Rain Warriors underwater. They kind of suck. Especially with... They're not really synergistic at all with my Bless. I do want to get a fort built, and then I can build non-sacred troops underwater, which I think will be good. So I think that's about it. I had also sent a message. Did Midgard send me? Okay, a message right from Midgard too. Greetings, Bloodmen. We've got hard discussions to have. We's happy to have peace with yous, but yous means wars with others. But peace with yous means wars with others. So we wants to know if we can take Morai's grace from yous and tells mans we's helpings. Then we tells mans we's fighting yous, but not really fighting's hard. And then we don't fight with you, with man and Ulm and Satis. Well, as if we trusts Ulm and Satis, we's not sure yet, but we's most worried about Ulm. So this is means not attacks us yet, but they sounds like they does wants to and has a fortress next to us. And okay, I'm tired of reading this. You can read it on your own. Basically, what they want is they want this province. And I'll be damned if a bunch of tree-hugging elves are going to take this from me. This is just not going to happen. Yeah, I need this. This is going to be important once Utguard takes this, and this is going to be important if I end up fighting Man. And in no way am I giving this up. So I sent a message back to Midgard. Proud Jaguars fought and made Indies die as we took Morai's grace. We cannot part with it, as it is quite close to our capital and necessary for any future conflict against Utguard or Man. So taking this province will start a somewhat awkward war that I'm sure we would both want to avoid, since we couldn't hold any lands that we took from each other from Man or Utguard if they turned on us. Utguard's going to take the throne at 64 this turn, the turn you get this, so perhaps you can bump him if you think you can kill his army. If you want to go after Man or Utguard, I can't help at the moment, but I cannot interfere. Keeping the brave Jaguars on my border watching your battles is an instruction in the art of war. Man might be a hard matchup since arrows go through glamour, though Utguard has hard-hitting giants, which miss and get chopped to pieces versus elves. Utguard has a regen fortitude bless, which could probably get chopped up pretty good by correctly equipped elves. So I'm basically saying, hey, you can bump these guys if you want to. but don't plan on attacking. If you take this, we're going to be at war. And what this war will end up being is I'm going to put a big batch of Sacreds here and jack up PD, and then they're just going to sit here, because attacking into Midgard is just retarded. So if he wants to throw stuff at me and die, I've got a great bless for killing elves. I am not worried about Midgard attacking, except I just don't want to get ganged up on. But so far, I've already secured 2 of my borders. Utguard does not appear to want to attack me, which is smart, because it's a really bad matchup for him until he gets Skella Spam out. Once he gets Skella Spam out, it could be really a hard matchup for me, so I've got to be careful. But anyway. The other thing is I committed to this war with Pangea, with Ulm, and I am going to do that. This turn we're going to claim a throne. Next turn we're going to move up here. Turn after we're going to attack. In terms of troop logistics, I'm picking up these Jaguar warriors. We're running up here. Next turn we're going to move here, and then we're going to attack here. So we're probably going to go like boom, 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 boom. And then, yeah, attack this or something like that. Or we could attack here and attack here, like these two. I'm not sure. But we'll see. The other thing is, so he didn't attack me, but I have these mercs. What we're going to do is we're going to move these mercs here, and then we're just going to have them kill these lizards. These guys we're going to search and blood hunt, because, you know, why not? I think that is about it. This guy's going to move back here. And yeah. The other good thing that's starting to happen is other people's Dominion is starting to kind of dom push me back. Eventually, I'm going to have to start blood sacrificing, but I would rather blood sacrifice in just kind of a few provinces. And with Mictlan, as long as you have good military control, because you can't blood sacrifice in a temple where your guys are on top of. Or, like, if Utguard were to siege me, I can't blood sack here. But as long as you have military control of your forts, it's pretty easy to control Dominion. So we'll see. I do have to be careful because Utguard does have Inquisitors. I mean, Ulm has Inquisitors, so they can preach down my Dominion very, very effectively. So if he moves on top of here, he could just not even have to, like, storm my cap and cause a lot of trouble. But anyway, I'm pretty quickly getting set up where I could deal with that. An attack from Ulm. So yeah, that's basically what we're looking at right now. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I will see you next episode. So wish me luck.